Well, obviously, two really good players, right? They're both big-time scorers, and it's a little similar to us, too. You can see, I think, probably a little rust on both of them, the same you see with Kawhi. And they're circulating two new guys in, and so are we, so pretty similar situation.
Granted, only game 2, but a lot of the talk of Boston, Toronto, Boston. I mean, do you feel that as well in terms of where this conference could or maybe should ultimately land with one of these two teams?
Well, I hope it does. I mean, that means we're in it, right? And I think it is really early, and I don't think they probably feel that their two guys will be going at full tilt for a little while yet, and I don't think we do either. So it is a big game, a little bit bigger because of the standings, right, and seeding possibly at some point down the line. But I think both teams will be happy to win it, and the team that doesn't will be like, well, we're not quite where we want to be anyway, so let's keep working.
Do you see the similarities between the two clubs as well in terms of what you guys have, depth, versatility, different lineups, and Brad's maybe got the same thing or a similar thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of similarities too. I think both teams like to think they're really deep and really versatile and can go to a number of people to both defend and score. A lot of combinations both sides. So, yeah, it's pretty similar.
Do you think is there anything that you've taken away from watching them?
Taken away from them and used, or just that I've noticed?
Versatility.
Nah, I mean. Not specifically from them. I mean, listen, you watch every team in the league and watch a lot of games, and those things spark ideas that you may incorporate or tweak to fit your personnel or something like that, but nothing specifically.
Al Horford is kind of a hybrid big in that he can punish players on the post. He's growing his face-up game. How do you coach against him?
He's like one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion, right? I mean, he is. I think I heard on the television broadcast the other night that he's made the playoffs every team he's been with, every season, and that's like, man, that's really something, because it's not like he's landed with I don't know, James, or it's not, what I'm saying, he was in Atlanta, and and I think Boston before he got there wasn't really in the playoffs either. So with that being said, you're right. He's the biggest thing. I think he's really smart, right? He makes the right switches. He's in the right place. He makes the extra pass. And then he also makes some big buckets when they really, really need one. With minute 30 to go, they'll find him somewhere, and whether it's a three or a post up, they can go to him and count on him, and that's hard to put a value on that, right?
Much more dangerous scorer than 15 points a game would suggest.
His 15 are more impactful than just 15. You know what I mean? They're really impactful points.
When you have a player like that who's that smart and experienced, what kind of luxury is it in terms of, from a coach's point of view?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. It's not unlike us having Kyle and Serge and Kawhi and some of these guys have been around, right? They are useful in their experiences of coverages and how to play against their coverages and all those kind of things. Similar.
Because of the injuries that they had last year, because Tatum was just so good for a rookie, there's sort of going into this year, it's like, what's the pecking order? And it's a conversation we have. Does that stuff matter inside a locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does. I think the locker room takes a shape. Yeah. That's not necessarily the same shape that's being played out at either end of the floor or on the court, right? But yeah, I mean, you guys know it's one of the most integral things of coaching at this level or watching at this level is who's sharing the ball, how they sharing it, how they reacting to number of shots, number of minutes, all those kind of things. So it's always something that you're working on, thinking about, and trying to massage, I guess, for lack of a better word.
With a more fluid starting lineup, are there sort of some hidden benefits to doing it like that? It's like freshness or just having guys deal with it?
They're so hidden, I don't even know what they are. No. I hope so. I mean, you know what I mean? I hope so. I think, part of one of the reasons that maybe you don't think about, I think about that we should be able to go out there and play with just about any lineup. And if anything ever happens that certain matchups just don't look good to us, then we ought to be able to throw somebody out there and play. And if there's an injury or two, we ought to be able to plug in a little more, just relax about it a little bit, right? Just relax and put the guys out there and have confidence that that guy can play that position. He knows what he's doing. He knows the coverages from there. He knows the sets or the inbound plays, whatever they are, and that things keep moving a little relatively smoothly.
There's sort of conventional wisdom, though, over the course of 82 that guys want that certainty of when I'm coming in, all that business.
That is another thing. That is another thing that we.
Real?
Well, 100% it's real, but it's something that we're trying to lessen the importance of, Eric. Like, to me, no matter what the scenario is, you got to go play, right? It's a back-to-back. It's 2 on the road. It's 5 and 8 days. I played 12 minutes last night and 30 tonight. You gotta go play when called upon, and you got to give the team what we need when called upon, and that's part of answering that same question of okay, we'll try to help you as best as we can if you need certain rotations and whatever. But the league's, in my opinion, getting away from that some, and again, that is part of the versatility we're talking about a little bit.
Does it keep your opposing coach on his toes as well? I mean, like where you've got a coach scrambling an hour before.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. I think most of the, like I'm sure they're not making any huge game plans on trying to figure out who we're starting tonight. I don't think so. I'm not trying to do that in the least bit. That's like way down the line as far as reasons of what we're doing.
Just the game up. People that aren't happy with you.
I don't know if they're not happy, but it seems to be a major topic. But we're all working towards making less major. Probably not.
DeLon, OG, anything new there?
OG's okay?
Yeah.
Cleared to play? DeLon is not cleared to play.
Nick, last year, the 2 games at home, you guys dictated the pace. When you went on the road, it was a bit of a slugfest. What's the key to sort of controlling the tempo?
Well, I think again, this is related. We want to play, fast, but we've also got to be able to play medium and relatively slow as well, right? I mean, again, it's not always controllable. Like the other night was a slow-paced game, and that wasn't anybody's fault, but the whistles, the whistles, right? And that's just, I'm not saying good or bad. That's just was the, you'll get that a little anxiousness in the first game. Guys are maybe reaching a little too much, and they'll clean some of that stuff up. And I still think it was a fairly high possession game, right? That's really what pace is. But yeah, we want to try to get out and play in the open floor as much as can. We think that's kind of the start of our offense.
Not to look past Boston too much, but how do you approach a game where, like Saturday, where you're bringing back a playoff rivalry after you've had like a very anticipated game on Friday night?
Well, I haven't even thought of that yet, but that's an interesting point. I think more of it is can we focus on this game first, and then it's kind of, you got to play the schedule, right? You got to play the schedule you're given. Sometimes it's a little harder than others based on travel, opponent, number of games in a week, and sometimes it's not, right? And sometimes it's like you get pretty lucky that certain guys are out, right? You hit a run where all of a sudden, hey, geez, they're all-star. We played four teams in a row where their all-star was out. That was a pretty lucky run in the schedule. And then there's times when it's it's really rough. So you just got to kind of play it. Each game kind of is its own little thing to figure out, right? And this is where, though, these are the things where different lineups and depth and all those things can sometimes help you, right? You go down there and obviously, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but somebody maybe plays a lot of minutes, and then tomorrow they don't have as much juice, and we go plug in somebody else like totally unexpected, and they have a big game, and that's where we're trying to manage the 82 a little bit with doing that.
It was 37 more than you would have thought for Kawhi in his first game the other night.
Pardon me?
37 minutes.
Just a bit. I got a little minute happy in the first quarter with him, probably.
That's good.
Things were moving fast for me out there too,
This team's had a lot of success with the second unit. The Celtics were kind of trying to
Yeah.
Guys being back healthy, what stands out about what they're able to do with that second group?
Well, it's, like you said, they got forced into it a little bit last year, right, to throw a bunch of guys out there because of the injuries, and obviously they found maybe some guys more minutes than they would have normally had, obviously. So I don't know. It's an interesting way they're doing it with their second unit. Obviously a lot of good players there. Most of those guys, a little bit like us, most of those guys. I mean, would you be surprised if Baines was starting or Morris was starting or Rozier was starting? Probably not, right? So it's almost like 2 starting units, right? So obviously their depth is good. We hope ours can match it.